We are back into UCHC play, and Utica kicks off with one of the harder opponents in UCHC play. They've all gotten a little harder, but they'll start off with Nazareth tonight. They play them again next week on the road, and Utica is doing very well against Nazareth at home historically. And in total, they have a 35-3 record versus the Golden Flyers, and at home the Pioneers are 19-2-1. Watching them the last couple games, the Pioneers have been there. They've had it all together, and if they don't overlook Nazareth and they play them like as talented as they kind of are, it'll be a good game, and Utica should win. Hoping they don't overlook them like they did UMass Boston. I don't know. And, I mean, over the weekend they played very good. They played Newman, who came out more physical than I think anyone expected. They averaged Newman averages the most penalty minutes of any team in D3, and then decided to post about it and then delete it. Which, good job, Newman. You messed up. Deleting it made it look worse. And then they played Canton, who they beat 5-1 after the 4-1 win against Newman the following day, and there was 3 goalie changes. All 3 goalies got in. Their first one they pulled after 2 goals, who then slammed his stick, his helmet, and his blocker, destroyed his stick, and then never came back out. The backup came in, allows 2, or either 2 or 3, and is pulled at the end of period 2, and then at the beginning of period 3, in comes the third string. So there was a lot of heckling. It was funny. Tonight should be a good game for Utica. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a better team than the last 2. It's also First Source Federal Credit Union night. If you bring a pair of socks and you bring it over to... If you bring it over to First Source Experience truck, they'll take them. I don't know. I haven't done it before. This is the first year I'm doing it. I think this is the first year they've done this. I don't know. First, second, something like that. But Utica's going to come in. I have a feeling Curtin's going to get the start. I mean, we're way too far out for lineups, so I don't fully know. Longhe should be back this game because I think there was a rest to a couple guys like Curtin, Longhe. I think McClellan got a rest. Somebody else that I'm not thinking of right now got a rest. But I think Utica should handle it. I don't know if they're going to. At least at first. A key is do not get in penalty trouble because I looked. Utica has one of the worst penalty kills in D3, and they have a now lower level power play. The special teams still doesn't look great. It's doing better, but it's not the lethal machine it's been in the past. Yeah, machine. Because there was years where we're saying, oh, it sucks, but the penalty kill and the power play, well, the penalty kill was always pretty decent, but the power play would be really good. Really, really, really good. This year, they're not. I don't know if something will click getting in Rogers and Kuznetsov, who looked very good last weekend. Kuznetsov looked very good. I will say, another player who looks really good, Sal Serrato. I can't bang that drum enough that I kind of called that. Very talented. Tied 5th in assists among freshman defensemen in D3. Playing very good. So, looking at it, Utica's goals per game come in at 31st. It's starting to climb back up. Their power play percentage is near the bottom at 14.81. Not really great. Not the biggest fan of how their their power plays performed. I don't know what they're gonna have to do to fix it, but they are 27th in goals allowed per game in terms of defense, sitting at a 2.36. So they slow teams down, even if it's not, oh, we're going to blow you out of the water with scoring. They don't need to. Nazareth, though, is tied ninth in team defense, allowing 2.07 goals a game. That's where it's going to be tough. They jump between two good goaltenders, and that's where I don't know who they're going to play of those two goaltenders. And maybe they give one this week, one next week. I don't know, because it's Delicio. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. And I think it's Leonard is the other one. Did they switch back and forth between? Hold on, I'm reading. No, it is Matthew Joseph. So Leonard is their third string. But that's the one thing they're gonna have to watch out for, is a talented goalie tandem. Utica has jumped in terms of NPI. They are now up to 20th. Their strength of schedule is apparently 14th. So that's a big leap from where they were a couple weeks ago. They were hovering in the 40s. Now they're up to 20. That is big in terms of the bracket race as you now start to look at it as we get into conference play. Utica's going to have to win out. As of right now, Utica's going to have to run the UCHC and take the tournament. Can they do it? Absolutely. Will they do it? You got it. Your main front is Geneseo. But the problem is you have Nazareth and Chatham are lurking. Nazareth and Chatham are better than normal, which is weird. Very, very, very weird to say. Very weird. Right now, Utica is second in the conference in NPI and fifth in the conference in strength of schedule. Manhattanville is 5th. Elmira is 11th. Brockport is 13th. Okay, 4th, not 5th. I miscounted. Utica's 14th, and then Geneseo's right behind is 16th. So, this is a conference that, as bad as some of their records look in out of conference, they've been beaten by some very good teams. And a lot of these teams can still keep up with you, even if they're not winning a ton of games. Especially the rivalry games, which scare me all the time. But, like Manhattanville, because, all it takes is one game for them to play out of their mind. Chatham last year, and then you lose. So, as long as they keep it clean and don't lose to anyone and keep themselves going into the playoffs, they'll be fine. Problem is can they do that? Probably, but there's always you can't rule it out. Nazareth comes into this as a team at 9-4-1. They beat Newman, Stevenson. They lost to Canton. They beat Potsdam, lost to Chatham, split with Geneseo, which is the big highlight, and tied Hamilton before the break. They also beat Cortland and Norwich in the Norwich tournament. So as much as this is a team that, they lost to Geneseo once, they lost to Chatham twice, one of them a blowout, 5-1, lost to Canton, they've got some wins. They beat Geneseo once. They tied Hamilton. They beat Cortland. They beat Norwich, who are usually decently collected teams. So you're gonna have to keep up. You're gonna have a fight on your hands the next 2 weeks. That's the weird part. We haven't seen Nazareth this good in a while. Ultimately, it's going to come down to what can the Pioneers do. It's going to come down to, can certain players do certain things? Can Longhe come back and play? I'm still waiting for him to play good. I'm still waiting for him to take that next step where he can be and just be that guy that takes over as that finesse player that you have to watch because he'll explode at any moment. I'm still waiting for that. I think he can do it. I think it's just a matter of, it clicking in the right way. Serrato is obviously a guy that I think his numbers are so low because some of the games he's had big games in have been exhibitions, which sucks because he's more talented than the stats let on and the box score lets on, especially for a freshman that's the shortest guy on the team. At that small of a size, you got to be talented to make a team, and he's talented. And you still got giants like Preston Brighton, Vitale. Your guys that you still run through. They just got to go in, make them. They have to. It's going to be about who makes less mistakes. You have to make less mistakes and stay strong in front of your goalie. And Curtin, I believe in, as long as he's the one playing. Murph, I do, but I still think he's a little twitchy. I still think he's a little not to the D3 game yet because he still has trouble settling in at first and will let in a goal or two, and then he turns into that wall, which for a freshman you can accept and swallow, but in a must-win game you can't be doing that. So it's all about just the team locking up, and going out and playing tonight. There's not really much else to say. They got to capitalize on their power plays and keep out of the box because their penalty kill is not the strongest. So, and you're playing a team that is very strong defensively, so they're going to have to try to pour on shots. But anyways, you know how I am. Everyone drive safe tonight to the game. And go Pioneers. Hopefully they can go win.